All right, guys. This week we're going to be focused on 3 videos. I'm only going to give you 3 of them this week, so the point totals will be varied between it, so just pay attention to that when you're taking those quizzes. Today's video will focus on hurricanes. The colonists and the Spanish explorers and the fur traders from France had to deal with not only Native Americans when they got to the New World and building up a civilization and all their settlements, they also had to deal with Mother Nature, and one of the most violent storms out there is a hurricane. We get a lot of them that hit along the Gulf Coast. Here's one right here hitting through the Gulf Coast in between Florida and the Texas coast. In this video I've made for you, it is going to be talking about one of the worst storms to hit the Texas coast. It was in 1900. I hope you guys enjoy it. Take some notes while you're watching it. Here we go.
I'm meteorologist Mark Mancuso, and on this day in weather history, Saturday, September 8th, 1900, the Great Galveston hurricane made landfall. It's unclear how the storm originated due to the poor records of the time, but it's believed to have begun as a Cape Verde-type hurricane, a tropical wave moving off the African coast. Highest measured wind speed was 100 miles per hour, but the Weather Bureau's anemometer was blown off the building shortly after that was recorded. Poor preparations were made as Galveston had endured numerous storms prior, and it was consensus that a seawall was unneeded. The highest point in the city was only 8.7 feet above sea level. The Category 4 hurricane brought with it surges over 15 feet, which washed over the entire island. Buildings were knocked off their foundations, and the surf obliterated them to pieces. Rescuers arrived to find the city completely destroyed. The loss of life was estimated to be about 8,000. Most had drowned or been crushed from waves and debris. 30,000 were left homeless. More people were killed in this single storm than all other tropical cyclones combined that struck the U.S. since. The Galveston hurricane remains the deadliest natural disaster in U.S. history 110 years ago. I'm Mark Mancuso.
So the number one thing to do during a hurricane or before one is to be prepared. So we need to make sure that we're prepared. Certain things need to happen before a hurricane hits to make sure that you are prepared. Number one thing that you will need is water. Make sure you have water. Water is very important. Power goes out sometimes during hurricanes, so make sure you have a flashlight that works, just like this one right here. There you go. And then also batteries for those. All right, you can also buy generators, things like that. Make sure you have a radio. Make sure you have any kind of first aid kits, anything like that. That's the only way that you can know for sure that you are prepared and ready to go during a hurricane. The other thing is you saw in there was what the effects of a hurricane is the property damage. The 1900 storm that hit Galveston was massive. Again, the video it said that they don't know what happened, how it got there. Technology obviously is a lot better now than it was. However, you never know what's going to happen and can predict what a hurricane is going to do. So always be safe, make sure you have your supplies, and be prepared. Until next time.